Shut up. You talk way too much. Aw, little motor mouth. Isn't she cute? When I was a little girl, these were the words that were used to describe my communication style. When I was a little girl, I didn't realize that there were lots of people who spoke in lots of different ways. And I was just one of them who spoke in a way that is considered a style. When I was a little girl, I thought that everything I did orally, everything that came out of my mouth was wrong. You see, it is important to know that when we study our communication style, and we learn that if we change it, we can maybe do better, maybe communicate better with others, maybe people will like us better, that sort of thing. Maybe that's not exactly the direction that is a positive one. In this project, my job was to study my communication style. Well, they didn't ask me what I said about anything. They asked me what I thought about things. But they got it right. Even though some of the other communication styles I was kind of close to, and I did have points in every single one of them, apparently mine, which is initiating, was the one that pretty much described my personality, I think, rather than my communication style. If we're to categorize everyone, doesn't that put us in a box? If we're to say that one communication style is more effective in this area, but perhaps this other communication is more effective in this other area, doesn't that just create a wormhole we can never get out of? What about if all the communication styles, what if they were just one? And that's the beauty of it. They're all different, telling the same story in different ways, but is that bad? And are we supposed to change our communication style to suit others? Well, I guess if the answer is, I need a job, and I'm in for a job interview, maybe it's a good idea to learn my employer's style so that I can hopefully make a good impression. But then what happens when you're on the job and your real communication style comes out? You'll probably keep the job, but are you going to excel in the job? Or are you just going to, once again, have to try to be something that you're not, that you've done your whole life? I don't know, so what's the answer? Do we just forget the whole thing? I kind of say let's forget the whole thing. Because what if we took a look at every single communication style and we said, hey, here are the positives of these styles, and here are the negatives. And let's just scrap it all and work on anything that's negative for any of us anywhere in the bottom there. So we work on those things, and instead of having 4 different styles, or more for some studies, it's all one style. But I don't think that's going to work because people do have their styles. What if we decide, let's just change the whole world? Let's just make everybody think this one way. But that's not going to work because we all think differently. So maybe communication styles and how we communicate with one another, maybe that's not the issue. And I love pathways. But maybe that's not the key to having a good communication style. Maybe it's developing our attitudes. Maybe it's developing our minds. Maybe it's developing how we care for one another, so that when we're listening to someone with a different communication style, instead of thinking, well, what's wrong with them, we're open. I don't know. Because to me, maybe that would create a world where everybody felt accepted. Maybe that would create a perfect world. If we all knew that when we talked, people would care no matter how we talked, the world would be a better place. I don't know. I can tell you this. It is important, I believe, it is important to work on how we communicate with one another, to care about one another. We've all heard the cardinal rule, the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I suggest this. Do unto others as they would have you do unto them. That might work. So if you're going to study your communication style, it might take you a while to change how you do it, and maybe not. But at the end, we can all just relax and like each other, no matter how it stands, no matter how it goes, and no matter how we sound, if we all choose to accept one communication style.
Toastmaster and Carrie, it's a pleasure to evaluate your speech. This is from Pathways, and to define what she was supposed to talk about, the purpose today was to learn about different communication styles and identify her primary style, and for the member, in this case Carrie, to share the impact of her style on others. And then I've got all these marvelous questions to fill out, which I always do later. Basically, I do the sandwich method, which is, what did you do well? Where could I make some suggestions for improvement? And then the closing rah-rah. I loved your introduction about what you were told as a little girl. I could picture that and could feel the pain. It was extremely well done. You did it with the right amount of timing. You drew us in. This is a clinic on how to begin a speech and get the audience with you. I heard the cliche the other day that the audience decides if they like you within 7 seconds of your speech, and if they're going to listen to you within 30 seconds. You certainly hit that one out of the park. You also used very good body language. You're very comfortable with your arms and moving around from side to side, so you're not stuck to the lectern, and you didn't use notes, which was very impressive. So all of those things are great positives. My conundrum was, and it has to do with equality in some way, I'm not sure how, but I did use it, I did use it in a sentence.
Cheater.
I guess it has to do with equality that I'm like Jonathan, sometimes I fade out and fade in, but I used it. I wasn't sure if you were talking about your communication style. You made quite a point about communication styles in general, whether they were good or bad, whether we should all be the same. And I thought that was a different speech from what, at least I saw in the evaluation, you were supposed to do. So my suggestion is good versus bad. You might have shown different styles of communication, for example, and had a preference. There are a lot of different things I think you could have done with this speech, which you didn't do. And I got the sense was that maybe you decided to do this near at 11 this morning, or I'm being critical, but I do that often, so I'm not sure. You also said, I don't know, a number of times, and I don't think that advanced your narrative. Maybe we should all speak the same. I don't know. Don't think that was your best speaking style. I love the variation. I love the ending, the focus on the golden rule, the twist on the golden rule, congratulations, I look for your next speech. Pathways is hard to evaluate as well as to speak from. Mr. President.